Hello! I have been recently supporting and pledging to various Kickstarters, and one of those was Mecha Miniatures, which was a 15mm scale Kickstarter campaign for some sci-fi mecha robot walkers, and they've now arrived in the post. So I'm going to do a sort of brief unboxing of the one that I ordered and all the parts that came with it, of which there's an awful lot, and also show you some of the previous models I bought from John Paulson from his Mecha website. They're very fine detail. They have a nice sort of height and scale to them, and they look mean, really. I think is they look good. So I'll show you those close up, and probably later on when I've got myself back into gear again with painting and modelling, I'll glue them together and show you a video of them coming together. Okay, so I won't waffle on anymore. Let's zoom into the model itself, and I'll take you through the close-up. Okay, so here we have the model in the box. International post to the UK was pretty rapid after the Kickstarter finished, so great to see a Kickstarter that actually delivered. I understand from John Paulson, I've having a chat to him recently on Messenger, and he was saying that these little bits, which you can see here, and I will open the box for you as well, were very tricky to match and bag up and took him an awful long time. As you can imagine, these components probably all look the same in one big box, and to filter through and put everything into the right bagging, the right baggies must have been quite a task. And here we go. So I shall tip out the first one. This is the one that came from the Kickstarter, and I'll get the other little bits out later, but this is the main hull. So let me have a think about this. Is this the Lynx? No, I think this is the bigger one than the Lynx. Oh, the magnets are going all over the place too, and I'll come on to that later, why there's actually magnets in the kit. Oh, there we go. So I'll just tell you what this model is. It's the Noram Lynx. So this was one of the Kickstarter models I picked up. Try and get that into the frame a bit better. Apologies for the wobbling around. And as you can see, you get a main hull section. You can't see with my fingers in the way. Very nicely, finely detailed. And that's one thing worth saying about all this resin. I mean, there's hardly a spot on it. Have a look at underneath there. That is a butter smooth finish on there, and you don't often get that. I mean, you can see, and probably not because I've got it in the bright light. But there you go, slightly out of focus though, sorry. But you can see a hairline, mould line through there, but barely visible. And none of the usual sort of mess that you get on the bottom plugs here. So fantastic detailing. And you can see here how the model actually goes together in terms of a couple of legs, a couple of feet, and that classic under... Oh, I could practically put this together. The torso section there underneath the back. So there you go. Oh, this is good. This is almost like click and play. Not so click and play on that one. But you get the idea. And onto the feet. Can I do it? Can I actually hold this together with nothing going on here? Probably not. Oh, well, that's not too bad. That's not too bad in terms of a dry build. And it comes with these, well, they're kind of like, well, I guess you call them shoulder pads. They go on the side, and then you can actually then fit the weapons and equipment. I think our dog has just barged into the room. Yep, she has. So please excuse the noise. Okay, so apologies for a brief interruption as the dog charged into the room. But there you go. That is the... Now I have to have a look again. The Lynx, which is the larger of the two models which I've got. And very nice it is too. I think that's going to take some paint really nicely. Definitely a candidate for airbrushing. So it's something which I will airbrush the base coat on. I may well do it in a sort of camo scheme. And as you do, I'm sort of preparing thoughts about this. Actually, when I was talking about flash earlier on and how smooth it is, I did miss out. And I don't want to make it look as if these are completely flash-free there are some of those moulding pegs on the back. There you go, and they're going to be easy to file or cut off. So there you go. So it's not a completely clean, but I mean everything else on there is perfectly smooth, and it has that really nice dense feel to it as well. So nice material, and as I mentioned before, you've got a set of look like neodymium magnets in there, which you can then use to obviously switch out some of the arm weapons and equipment, of which there's quite a few in the box. So I'll take away that main torso, legs, and I'll leave the chicken feet on there, and show you some of the other kits that came in there. So, and they have magnets in there too. So this is a sort of pair of missile launchers with what look like sort of overslung sort of rifles of some kind. I'll get those out so you can see them close up. Now I'm having more trouble with magnets. I'll get those out of the way. Again, you can see these are rather nice looking missile pods. So actually there, again, you can see they'll go on the side. Nice detailing in there on that pod. So that must be the rear exhaust. I don't know. I'm assuming that's the rear. Oh no, that must be the front, because it's got a sort of a laser tracking kind of thing on there. And these must pop open to fire. Or at least that's what I'm assuming. Now, I don't know. I don't pretend to know where those go, but I imagine it sits on the top as an overfiring kind of rifle. Not sure. Not 100% sure. I'll have to look at the configurations on the website to confirm that. Then I have one set here that looks rather nice indeed, which is these sort of twin barrels. I like a barrel when it has the sort of straight edge on there. Looks nice and futuristic. Again, you get a pair of those. And okay, so that's a nice little kit add-on. Again, magnetize it, and it means you can switch it out on the models. Now this one, I think, is the side pods that you get on the smaller, lighter mech, which is the Raptor. And there you go. Looks like either, again, not 100% sure, sorry, but they look like either maybe light missile pods or possible lasers, high energy lasers. That's a possibility. They look nice anyway. I'll get that out of the bag so you can see it. And again, you can see the sort of fine level of detail on there. Very nice. So what other goodies have I got in here? Well, I've got two other packs. This one is, again, a sort of dual-barreled weapon of some kind. Actually, I think I know the what that one's called. I can see that one. Beta config. So again, not 100% sure what that would represent, but you could use it as a laser or some kind of energy lance, or even a projectile rapid fire. And this one, again, this looks smaller, so I imagine this is another config for the smaller of them, the Raptor. So you can see there you get a little pair of slightly smaller weapons. Bring that into focus so you can see it. You can see there's some minor flash there that will need tidying up. And that's the case with any of these multi-part resin kits. You will need to get in there with a file and a knife to clean it up. So that was the larger mech, as I was showing you, the Lynx. Scoop all that out of the way. Now what I have here in a couple of other bags are some of the smaller ones. So you can see on the Raptor that it is a smaller hull, and I should actually bring the other one up for comparison, shouldn't I? There you go. So quite a big difference really. You've got the Lynx, which is the sort of heavier one, and then the lighter Raptor. And again, really clean. And this is one I've bought earlier, direct from the website. And as you can see, it's a slightly different coloured resin, but otherwise it's just as clean and smooth as the newer ones from the Kickstarter, which have just gone a slightly darker grey. So if I get the kit out that's come with that, it has come with a base. Yeah, it's quite a nice base with a lip on it. In fact, the model that came with the Kickstarter, I'll just show you, I imagine for the rules of John Paulson's Mecha Front game that he's perhaps using different size bases for the larger models. So this one came with the Kickstarter. There's a larger one for the heavier mech, and this is the lighter one, although I had previously bought one of those heavier Lynx mechs as well, and it did come with a smaller base, in fact. So I don't know if that's bears any relevance to the rules. And this is pouring all over the place, sorry for that. Right, so again, it has that familiar shoulder pad config where you've got the shoulder pad goes on like that, and then you've got another hole on there. I don't know which way around it goes actually, sorry, that could be the wrong way around. And then you actually add on the weapon. Like so. Oops, like so. So you get that sort of extension on the side. Sort of chunky shoulder pad, which could also be housing some of the weaponry. Weaponry, I mean ammo. So there you go. And again, that configuration where you have the bottom of the... Oh, that's nice. No, it hasn't got a fix. Will definitely need to be glued. Smaller legs, and these ones have different style chicken legs, chicken feet even. So more of a sort of a claw. And again, you can see how that's going to go in there. If I get it around the right way. Something tells me I'm doing that wrong. And will require some investigation. Aha. Perfect. Look at that. That's a very nice fit actually. Practically seamless when you've got the two pieces together. That looks ace. Brilliant. Very clean finish. And seamless. Excellent. So, I've got that to balance. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll get the other legs out. So again, you can see the scale of the heavy. So this has got its... Get it into the frame so you can see it. But there you go again. There's the heavy mech. And you can see just how much bigger those legs are. And if I get the feet out actually again, if I can dig them out, should be able to show you the difference on the feet size. That's quite considerable, and it is a different style as well, which is nice. It means it's not just a blown up version of the smaller mech. It's actually they've taken some time to consider how they'd like to differentiate the two, with the heavier mech having the 4 prongs on the feet. Well, they've both got 4, but this one's in the sort of parallel setup, and this is more of a cross. So there we go, lots of pieces, and I can see what John was saying at Paulson. John Paulson was saying at Mecha Front Games, in that when he received the big package of all these for the Kickstarter, he struggled to sort of sort them all out, looking so similar, all these different parts. I'm getting confused, and I only spent 10 minutes with them here. So they definitely need a build, which I'm desperate to get to complete, in which case I'll also probably do a short airbrushing guide for them as well. So fantastic models overall, high quality stuff. So you may find that if you look at the website, they're a little on the higher price for 15mm scale models, but these kind of kits are so detailed and so clear and buttery smooth that it's well worth sticking with them and paying that extra premium for a high quality product. So thanks to John Paulson for producing these fantastic models, and please subscribe to the channel, and you may catch me completing an airbrushing technique for these at a future date.